That nigga his son's girlfriend. Oh, he a sick motherfucker.
The truth is the light.
Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him?
I see him.
Grown folks do.
Okay, we'll
Now,
take that.
kids look up the NBA young boy Dirt.
Oh, yeah.
They not looking at Diddy. Oh, me and Diddy his son's girlfriend. Come on, homie. That nigga his son's girlfriend. Oh, he a sick motherfucker, homie. Oh, but when you get that kind of money, you go be sick. You ain't got no choice but to be. You got too much money. Your fantasies and your imagination, homie, will make you sick with that kind of money. And you're not a God-centered moral compass kind of guy. You your friend, your son's girlfriend. You the same girl that your son done. Homie, that's a sick. You sick. But me and you couldn't get away with that. Me and you couldn't. That's why the Bible describes evil people being in high places like Puff Daddy. Evil don't exist down here. It exists up here.
How far could this really go? Just days after Diddy's homes were raided and he reportedly left the country, rapper 50 Cent has suggested that Jay-Z may be next on the federal radar. Now, whether this is a bold leap or a statement rooted in real information remains unclear, but there are enough details raising eyebrows to make the speculation hard to ignore. So, let's break it all down.
No, we didn't. Aaliyah was a little young. That's why I always laugh at, we all know what R. Kelly did to Aaliyah and how he had her at a young age. Well, the person that get mixed, a person that gets neglected, and I know in the 90s was different. A lot of older guys messed with girls that were under 17 years of age. And, now we're a little more educated because of the talk shows with Oprah that we went through and Dr. Phil and stuff like that. Even Ricky Lake and all of that. We realized that it wasn't so cool messing with the underage young ladies. I never had an attraction for someone younger. I always looked and had an attraction for older women, so I probably didn't have that problem. But then everybody that I did. Everybody. All of them. No names mentioned yet. But I'm going to expose somebody that we all forget about. Y'all see this picture of Jay-Z with Aaliyah when she was underage? Y'all forgot about Jay, huh? We only know about Damon Dash messing with Aaliyah. And
Here's why people are talking. P. Diddy and Jay-Z share a long and complicated history, one built on public respect, private trust, and decades of collaboration. However, rumors suggest their relationship may be far more layered than it appears. Insiders claim Jay-Z was deeply unsettled by the raid on Diddy's properties, allegedly fearing that it could expose some of his own personal secrets. Given Jay-Z's carefully crafted image of power, control, and success, that possibility is certainly troubling.
But that ain't the only one that Jay had when she was underage. Yeah, remember Fox Brown and Jay? Ain't no woman like the one I got. No one could love you better. Before that song came out, we used to hear it. I used to tell, I was like, "Woo, that." Him and Mystical, those were two songs that were hot. That it took like a year before it got. Well, I'll say to the West Coast. I don't know if they were beating it up on the East Coast, but on the West Coast, it took like a year before those songs came out. And then Nelly's song with the Link St. Louis text. But I'm just saying all that to say, Foxy was young then as well. And so all of these guys and the underage young ladies were running rapid in the 90s.
While no one knows exactly what these two music moguls may, or may not, have been involved in, one thing is certain: status doesn't erase fear. The fear of exposure and fallout can motivate anyone. Jay-Z's rise, from chart-topping hits to massive business success, has secured his place as an industry titan. But will that legacy protect him now? Following the Miami and Los Angeles raids on Diddy's homes, 50 Cent intensified his trolling, publicly questioning Jay-Z's silence. In one post, he placed Jay-Z's face on a missing milk carton labeled missing, jokingly asking if anyone had seen him. In another, he shared an old photo of Jay-Z waving and captioned it as his last reported sighting, complete with laughing emojis. Even though the image was clearly outdated, accuracy has never mattered when 50 Cent is on the attack. The posts were meant to highlight the decades-long bond between Jay-Z and Diddy and keep the spotlight firmly on both. This wasn't the first time 50 Cent stirred controversy. After Homeland Security searched Diddy's properties as part of a sex trafficking investigation, he also shared a deepfake video involving Donald Trump and Diddy, referencing court documents that anonymously mention Meek Mill. On Monday, March 25th, Homeland Security raided Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles. His sons, Christian and Justin Combs, were detained during the Los Angeles raid while investigators searched for laptops, flash drives, and any evidence linking Diddy to the allegations. A Homeland Security specialist confirmed that the billionaire has faced lawsuit after lawsuit in recent months. It all began when Cassie, Diddy's former girlfriend, filed a lawsuit in November accusing him of trafficking and abuse, setting off a chain reaction that is yet to stop.
I can't see NYPD not giving Puff a ballistics test where they swab his hands and swab his clothes and see that how close he was, or did he shoot the weapons? Because that's what they usually do when there's a shooting and they catch the people right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Puff was caught about 10, 15 minutes after the shooting in the car in a chase. So if he had shot a gun, then they should have done a ballistic test. If she said Puff shot her like she said that night, it should have been a ballistic test done on him that would have proved that he was in the vicinity or he shot a weapon, because the gunpowder would have been on his clothes and would have been on his hand.
Although Cassie's lawsuit was eventually settled out of court, the accusations didn't disappear. Instead, they opened the floodgates, forcing Diddy to confront a growing list of allegations that now threaten everything he's built.
Listen, he has to do that because no company wants to do business with somebody who is being accused, have allegations against them for sexual misconduct and deviant behavior. Nobody wants to do business with that. All the shareholders, it ain't nothing that he's giving up. They like, yo, listen, give me that. They say, they did a Diddy. Take that. You understand? They're gonna take that from him. The shareholders is gonna say, yo, listen to me. We all gonna pull out. No Diddy. But we all gonna pull out our shares and everything if you don't give up what you have in the company. I seen that look in his face. You understand? When he was with the same gang and Mike Owens, AKA Mike Cock, everybody can tell it, D. Ferg did a collection for him because he didn't know how he was gonna pay his rent, and he didn't know how he was going to pay his rent, child support, and his car note, because he had one of those drop-top Cabarets Volkswagens. So Mike gave $5,000. I wasn't giving him nothing. I'm just telling you right now. D was just collecting money. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, we got to make sure because he want to kill himself. He going to kill himself. Diddy had that pace and he had that look in his face that he know something may be wrong or they may have something on him. Because they took things out of there. We may not have seen what they took, but they had bags and boxes of stuff that they took out of there. So he knows, he's getting a play-by-play of what's going on. Like everybody, I get all kind of hate mail, IGs, talking about that I'm trying to take a black man down. No. I went through every step you supposed to go through when you got a problem, you got a situation, you got an issue with a man. You understand? I get in contact with him. Went to mutual friends. Let's sit down and talk. What you did to Wolf's mother wasn't right, bro. You don't talk to her like that. If Wolf was alive, he'd take your head off. You understand? Try to talk to him. People, when they start getting in this power, certain positions, have certain amount of money, they don't look back. Some of them don't look back and don't think they have to come back to the people that help them get to those positions. You understand? I don't care what nobody say. You understand? If somebody helps you and use their ability and their talents to help you get in position and get to certain places and do certain things, you come back. And you make sure things is all right. You don't disrespect people's mothers. You don't disrespect your friends that took their money to make sure you was all right when you was wrong, when you was messed up. You don't do that, brother. So by him doing the things that he did and taking the avenue that he took, he's suffering the consequence, and I don't feel bad for him at all. Because people was trying to talk to him. People was trying to tell him.
Another woman later filed a lawsuit accusing Diddy and former Bad Boy executive Harve Pierre of assaulting her in 2003 when she was only 17. More recently, producer Lil Rod, who worked on Diddy's 2023 album The Love Album, Off the Grid, filed a lawsuit alleging sexual assault. Attorneys representing both Cassie and Lil Rod praised the federal raids, stating it was long overdue for the mogul to be held accountable.
It's not looking that great. Right now, I know that he has high-powered attorneys, and with all these allegations that are coming out against him and against other people, a lot of people are starting to be very nervous about what's going on. That accelerated things. I mean, his settlement with her and other criminal acts that she alleged have happened, and then other people started coming forward, so it's like a house of cards. Yeah. There are a lot of things that are coming out right now, and what's going to happen is that the government's going to go through all of these things that they have uncovered, and they're going to see if there's any criminality. If any charges are to be brought, they will bring them later.
As these events unfolded, public skepticism grew, especially after reports showed Diddy's private jet leaving the country. Meanwhile, figures like comedian Cat Williams openly criticized Diddy, breaking years of silence. Throughout it all, 50 Cent has remained one of Diddy's loudest critics, repeatedly calling out what he believes are serious crimes. While conspiracy theories have flooded social media, several verified pieces of evidence suggest Diddy's alleged actions may be far more severe than initially believed.
What it suggests to me is that the allegations that Rodney Jones Jr. had in his civil suit are something of a playbook for law enforcement. Because in that lawsuit, unlike the other four before that, including Cassandra Ventura, or otherwise known as Cassie, Rodney Jones says that not only does he have video on his phone, but also that Sean Combs supposedly has surveillance and recording videos in his home that could corroborate some of his allegations. So it seems like law enforcement took that information as going the next mile. Now, in terms of when we might see it, question maybe never. The question may be during the indictment. It all depends on what's on those recordings and how law enforcement decides to proceed going forward. First and foremost, I'll say this so Legals and Standards doesn't get mad with me. There seems to be no connection yet. But if you look at the civil lawsuit, the way that Rodney Jones has photographs of Brendan Paul, the Syracuse basketball player that somehow has a connection to Sean Combs. Now he's getting arrested supposedly on his way to Sean Combs' craft or whatever it may be. This seems like it could be a bad situation for both Paul and maybe even Sean Combs. Like, I practice in the Southern District of New York. They do not play around. And what could happen here is if there is a connection between Paul and Sean Combs, they could be leaning on Paul now to try to get more information about if there is in fact an actual connection, trying to get that connective tissue between Rodney Jones's allegations in his civil suit, calling him a why he has on him, and what this connection is with Sean Combs. And if there's a connection, he could be cutting a deal sooner rather than later, or this could be completely...
What's becoming painfully clear is that those on the fringes of the entertainment industry were the first to notice the patterns. Comedian Cat Williams, Jaguar Wright, and rapper 50 Cent have all spoken out, despite the risks, challenging what they see as deeply rooted corruption among powerful figures.
Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left, Puffy and Al almost.
That is interesting.
Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas, and then the next thing you know... You want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him?
Very few people dare to criticize these actions without fear of consequences. And while Jay-Z has remained completely silent so far, we'll be watching closely for any response. One thing is certain, the hip-hop industry is undergoing a major collapse and reset right before our eyes. So grab your popcorn and stay ready. That's it for today. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and for more updates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon bell.